Good evening. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. We welcome you all to this extraordinary session, and it's the first of its kind for Labour Party. And you guys know what happened earlier this year, and all the efforts that everybody made to make sure we get a passage to Asorok. That effort is still ongoing. However, you know that since after the election, nobody has come out here to talk to us in any form, whether to appreciate what we did or to keep us informed of what is going on. So the national chairman of the Labour Party felt it was appropriate to come out and thank us for what we did and keep us updated for what lies in the future. So that is why we have organized this gathering, that we hear from him. You know, I know most of you have issues you want to get proper perspective about. These days of WhatsApp, you hear and read all kinds of things on WhatsApp. You don't know which one is true. You don't know which one is the alternate truth. But we are lucky to have in our midst today the national chairman of the Labour Party, in the person of Barrister Julius Abure. He's going to be with us today, and before we call him up, I want to do a quick introduction of other personalities that are here, because we want this event to run smoothly without interruption. We also have the national chairman of the Labour Party in USA, Professor Abure. Can you just recognize us? And in our midst also, we have members of the committee that arranged this, but I don't want to bore you with that introduction yet until we are fed. when we are fed, we'll get to that. Yes. But I don't want to proceed without acknowledging some very important personalities in our midst. We have the Executive Director of NADECO USA, in the person of Dr. Lloyd Upu. Yes. We also have, all the way from New York, we have our man, Stephen Osawe. Stephen. Thank you. We have in our midst Chief Udenkwo, please. Chief Udenkwo. Thank you. The original NADECO people. We have, of course, Dr. Ebube Odunukwe. Everybody in DMV knows Dr. Odunukwe. Thank you so much, Doc. We have also a lady that you really cannot write the story of obedient movement in the Washington area. You cannot conclude that story without her. Talking about Lady Doris Onyema, please. Then we have Mr. Ifeanyi. One voice in our midst. Ifeanyi, please. We have a prominent politician an activist from New Jersey, Chief Sonny Arokwe. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, the other members are members of the committee. We have Chief O.C. Eluche. We have our sister, Ranka Dede, of the Twitter space. You're welcome. We have Victor Onyekaben. Victor, you're welcome. And Chi Esoro is here. She has been the secretary and the power block of what we are doing. We have our brother Emmanuel Johnson, all the way from Virginia. Wow. Welcome. And in front, you have Patrick Esoro. He is the brain box of this committee. And of course, the only Ofo-Mori of diaspora and home, Dr. Anyape. Our video man has been with us since yesterday. You did a great job from the airport up till now. We appreciate you. So before I call on the national chairman, the session is going to be an informal introduction, informal talk. You ask any question you want to ask. Unlike the other side, we don't have anything to hide in the Labour Party. We tell you the way it is. We don't delegate people to answer questions for us. You ask, we answer. So our chairman is going to take any kind of question. I see some people say, is he going to talk about Namibia, Papa? I say, anything you want him to talk about, he will talk about it. So our chairman is here to take the podium. Before he comes up, I will call on Prof to give us an opening remark. But before all that, we will open this session with a prayer. And I would like Dr. Odunukwe to open this session for us and call on the Almighty to come and be the real chairman of this occasion and back the rest of the other chairmen. Odunukwe, please.
I'm not a priest, just like one of you. When God answers prayers, everybody answers. Let's say a prayer. Almighty Father, King Almighty, thank you for who you are. This evening, discuss matters that are important to us in the nation. You know our hearts, you know our desires, stand for the truth, we want justice and fair play in our nation. Ask for the us to live witness today, to talk freely as brothers and sisters of the same nation, under God, that we can pray and get things we need to know to help us march forward towards justice and equity. Be with us here and those representing our families anywhere we come from, Nigeria, impact of the US, and the whole world, that we can focus on what's going on and stand with the truth. Because those who have truth with you always win. Nothing like the rough, but at the end, always the winner, you're the victor. Thank you for giving us time to be here this night. Giving us some precious ask in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much. Okay. So I will call on Professor D. to give us an opening remark before we bring up our chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you everyone who is here. Thank you, National Chairman from Nigeria, and all the old and new warriors in the room. Some of the things that we do now for both the Labour Party, the Obedient Movement, and the motivation for generating enthusiasm amongst our youth are part of the consciousness induced by the old war horses who are here, who have been mentioned, who were in the trenches with me during the Nadiko era. Attorney Lloyd and Chief Edwin Udenkwo were people who, at the time, I'm sure maybe there were one or two others that I would be able to bring out, amongst them Dr. Udenkwo, people who were here at the time, putting everything they had on the line, their profession, their lives, their families, to at the time continue to fight for a new hope for Nigeria. That fight continues, and we are also glad to see that new consciousness continues to grow, and a lot of people are now coming in, making sure that the hope that P2B has kindled in all of us, that we continue to hand it over to generations to come. Building a new Nigeria is not a one-day effect. And if the likes of the people I mentioned, Dr. Udenkwo, Dr. Lloyd and Udenkwo, and the rest of them are anything to go by, is that the fight for a new Nigeria should be primarily every one of our thinkings, for the rest of our lives. Because if we believe in Nigeria to be a place for all of us, we must not leave them to rascals and rogues to continue to mess it up. That said, we have in our midst, like I have introduced, the national chairman of the Labour Party, Attorney Barrister Julius Abure. And as you can see, he's a very young man. And when you put him side by side, chairman from the other parties, you can comfortably say the others are ancestors. And which is important. And this is a discussion we've been having with him all the time he's been here, even before he got here. Is that for him to continue to remember that he's a young man where he is today, and that he must not allow old thinking to, well, it's important to know the old thinking, but don't let us be consumed so much by the old thinking. We must look forward, look for the old ways of doing things, bring new young people in the political environment. And if there is anything this Obedient Movement has done for us, is that they have thrown up a bunch of very active, very much invested young people. And this new movement, new Nigerian movement. And of course, not to say it because he's here, we have somebody like Steve, Osemwewe, who is a candidate for governorship in Edo State. And Steve has been very, very involved in every way he can talk of. Just mention it that this is something that needs to be done. He is there. He's giving it 120%, both physically, financially, and otherwise. So we are hoping, given the new thinking, as we to discuss with the national chairman is that somebody like him must be given a fair, level playing field to do his best to compete. And if he's the best competitor, he should win. And we're all rooting for you, Stephen. And on the final note, I want to say welcome to our national chairman, and we're going to be looking forward to a very good evening. One thing before I even hand over, a word of at least observation, looking at observation. But we are glad that the national chairman is here, not because of the fact that he just came, but because of the various undercurrents that are happening in Nigeria, and I'm sure he's going to have the time to address it. I have gotten numerous calls from Nigeria, people who were mad at us. Why are we hosting the national chairman? The national chairman has cases in court. Those cases have not been resolved. He is not our national chairman and all that stuff.
So we are about to swing into action. I just want to let you know that we have arranged for good dinner for everybody. And the event will enlarge. A lot of people have called in, they are coming late because of course they paid for the dinner, so they will come. So don't look at the fact that there are empty spaces, they will fill up, And I want to call on the national chairman of Nigerian Labour Party, the party in waiting to form the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, I want you guys, before he leaves here, to take as many pictures as possible with him. Because that might just be your passport. Because very soon, this man will be very difficult to reach. You know what power does. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor of introducing to you the authentic and only national chairman of Nigerian Labour Party.
Yeah.
Let's be seated, but I would have preferred I would occupy the front seats so that those who are coming will take the back seats. The chairman of the US Charter of Labour Party chairman of BC branch, all other distinguished members of Labour Party, all obedients who are here present. I want to first appreciate all of you for finding time to be at this event this evening. I appreciate you and welcome you for coming. Let me also use this opportunity to appreciate those who found time to be at the airport yesterday when I arrived. I want to appreciate you profusely for your support, for your hospitality, and your commitment towards the cause of the country, our country, Nigeria. Let me also quickly use this opportunity to appreciate all of you for the massive support that you gave to us. We just concluded election in Nigeria. The support before, the support during, and after the general election made us to make the difference. I appreciate the numerous contributions, financial contribution in terms of materials, and all sorts of support that you gave to us. I've always said that for those of you in diaspora, most of you are the breadwinners of your families back at home. And because you are the breadwinners of your family, they say, he who plays the piper dictates the tune. I know that your own contribution in terms of minding the mind of the people at home assisted us in a huge way in getting the support that we got back at home. Your opinion, no doubt, played a major role in the outcome of the election. Initially, they said we had no structure, but later on we saw that we had structures and we became the party to beat in Nigeria. As I speak with you now, out of your efforts and your contribution today, we have a governor who is already sitting in Abure State. We have 8 senators in the Senate, and we have 35 House of Rep members. We equally have a lot of members in the state houses of assembly across the country. In the presidential election, for the first time, we won 12 states after they have rigged all the results, after they have manipulated it. We still were able to win 12 states, and PDP only won 12. The ruling APC won 13. All of these successes wouldn't have been possible without your support, financial support, without your commitment to that cause of Peter Obi and the general election that was held this year. In FCT, we won close to 80-something% with the 9th PDP and APC, who have occupied the saddle of power for many years, the opportunity to get 25%. It is one issue they are trying to grapple with today. It has become an albatross for them, and Nigerians are watching, all eyes on the judiciary to see how that issue will be resolved. All of these successes that we have recorded wouldn't have been possible without your support. And I know that in the diaspora, United States played a major role in the vanguard of the support that we got. And so that's why in this my talk, I said I must find time to come and see you, to appreciate you first, and to also encourage you that all hope is not lost, and to also share with you our vision and our future programs, which I know, no doubt, you will all be interested in keying into it, so that we can continue the struggle to liberate our people from poverty, from hunger, and unemployment that has become the hallmark of our country, Nigeria. The vision to have a Labour Party, a party that will fight for the downtrodden, a party that will represent the interest of the people, like we now have found, started as far back as 1945, when Labour Party, when Labour leader number 1, Pa Igbodu, visited Britain in 1945, when Labour Party government was just enthroned in the United Kingdom. He came back to Nigeria and wanted to form the Labour Party. But of course, due to the struggle for independence, that vision was not realized at that point in time, until we had military, we eventually had independence, had military intervention in politics and all of that. And that vision was truncated for a long time, but was about to be crystallized in the Babangida transition. Labour Party was one of those parties that was to be registered until Babangida again truncated the whole processes and introduced two parties in Nigeria, NRC and SDP. Then Labour Party then subsumed into the SDP. Again, when democracy eventually came in 1999, the vision to have the Labour Party was again truncated, as the military then refused to register the party. I'm sure you all remember Gani Fawoni, who was a social crusader who fought and eventually went to court and got INEC and the government to register other political parties, including his own, the National Conscience Party. And that gave rise to the birth of Labour Party in 2002. And the name of the party was changed in 2004 to Labour Party. It was registered as Party for Social Democracy. And in 2002 and 2004, we felt that why can't we just be our name Labour Party? And that gave rise to changing of the name in 2004 to Labour Party. I've always been a player within that field. I actually joined the party in 2002 when it was formed. I was the first assistant state secretary of the party in Edo. In 2006, I became state secretary. We were part of those who struggled and brought Oshomole to run in 2006. And in 2007, when the Labour movement wanted to join and support Oshomole to become governor in Edo, I was stepped down again from being state secretary to assistant secretary, to pave way for people who were coming to support us, to have that sense of belonging and sense of inclusiveness. And when we won in 2010, the then state secretary, Didi Adedo, was made commissioner for housing, lands and survey. I was again elevated to the position of state secretary. In 2014, I became deputy national secretary of the party. In 2015 December, the National Secretary resigned and I became the National Secretary of the party. I was again re-elected in 2019 as the National Secretary of the party. 2020 December, the National Chairman of the party died, Abdul Salam Abdul Kadri, of blessed memory now. And in March 2021, NEC unanimously resolved that I should lead the party, and that was how I became the National Chairman of the party. Before I took over as the National Chairman of the party was almost in oblivion. The party was used as a tool for political bargaining. It was used for trading for party leaders. The party will wait, harvest people from PDP and APC, and then give them tickets, trade them off, and collect money. But when I took over in 2021, I decided that I was going to launder the image of the party, reposition it, and have a party that can fight for the people, become the voice for the voiceless, and provide alternative platform for young Nigerians and for every credible Nigerian to have a platform that can fight for them, canvass for an alternative government policy, and make the difference in governance. And so when I took over, I decided to launder the image of the party and reposition it for what it is today. And Peter Abure mentioned to me that it is because of the credibility, the leadership style that he saw in the party that attracted him to join the party when the opportunity played out. And so I'm happy today that we have proved ourselves in the 2023 general election. Our participation and the participation of Peter Abure in this year's election, no doubt, changed the political narratives in the political space in Nigeria. They undermined us, they didn't take us seriously, but of course, by today, you will know that we actually met men and not boys. We believe that we gave them a run for their money, and if you look at what played out in the election and the election itself, you will see that it got confused in the process. They initially said election results will be transmitted real time. They probably thought that we would not win. But by the time they saw what was coming, they didn't have choice but to quickly shut down the IRF portal and did it haphazardly. And that showed clearly the failure that they have today, and they are struggling to cover all of this in court like you have seen. We participated effectively, and I can say very clearly that we won the presidential election of this year. I have the utmost confidence that the courts will do the right thing. I believe that Peter Abure will become president. Yes. We have presented all the evidence before the courts, and I want to say clearly that they are overwhelming evidence that we have presented before the courts. And I'm sure that if the courts do the right thing, in the next few months, we'll be in Nassau Rock and we'll take it over. We can probably see that the country is not working. Things have become worse in the country since they took over. Insecurity has increased. In Jos, in Benue, name it. the people in IDP camps have increased, insecurity has increased in the country. Fuel today is sold for almost 700 naira per liter. It is almost 1,000 naira today to $1. And it is almost 1,300 something per £1. Inflation has increased, hunger is increasing, unemployment is increasing in the country. PO has said that it is too early to criticize them. So we should give them 100 days in office before we start criticizing them. And we are patiently waiting for that 100 days in office to see what they will have to offer. But I can tell you right away that nothing will change, and things will even get worse in the country. I say so because they don't have what it takes to drive the process of growth and development of the country. They have no commitment, they don't have that commitment. They don't have the innovative ideas that you need to change the socio-economic conditions of the country. They don't have the age, they don't have the strength, they don't have the energy and the sagacity to change the narratives in the country that is entrenched over the years. And I want to say, without sounding immodest here, that it is only Peter Obi and the Labour Party that has what it takes to change this. To change the situation in the country. For us in Labour Party and for Peter Obi, we have put our hands on the plan and we definitely not look back. We are determined to see how we can bring in new Nigeria. A Nigeria that cares, a Nigeria that works, a Nigeria that cares for its people, that have empathy, a Nigeria that will include diaspora participation in governance. A Nigeria that will entertain and reflect the interest and the well-being of those who are living outside the country, and we will encourage them to go back with their wealth of resources, both intellectual, financial, and all others, and incorporate it in emerging new Nigeria that is in our vision to build. Yes. A Nigeria that will work for the people where there is security, where there is employment, where there is growth and development for the people. And I want to say that we will not rest on our oars until we reclaim the mandate and reclaim our country. Yes. I want to restate Labour Party's commitment to all of this. It is our intention to continue to expand the party. It is our intention to continue to expand and maintain the momentum that we have. We intend to expand the party. All those obedient who are not in the party now, we encourage them to be part and parcel of the party. We are developing a program where we make membership registration very, very easy, so that even those who are in diaspora, those who are in Nigeria, the young people who are the bedrock of the obedient movement, should be able to register as members of the party. Yes. We see this as the foundation upon which we can expand the party and continue to grow it. I have always said, and I believe in it very strongly, that it is not what you do during the election that matters. It is what you do even after election that matters. it is only in Nigeria that you find that political parties are merely vehicles for election purposes. Political parties ought to be a vehicle for political mobilization, political education, in order to raise the consciousness of the people, first, to hold government accountable, and secondly, to capture power and be able to deploy your ideology in order to bring good governance and better life for the people. And therefore, for us, there won't be any dull moment at all. We are praying that the court processes, as I've said, will be in our favor, but whatever is the case, we are going to teach them how to play opposition politics in Nigeria. Yes. I want to say clearly that since 1999, when this democracy came, we've never had opposition political party. But this time around, we are going to see us play that role effectively. And I can assure you that between now and 2027, if we survive what will happen in the next few months, we will run them out of the country.
Yes, yes.
And I'm sure that they saw that clearly, very clearly during the election year. Where they didn't visit, we visited it all. By 16th of December, they had packed all their bag and baggages, APC and PDP, and they shot their campaign. We continued our campaign through the Christmas and entered the New Year, and we saw that we were not resting. Their members started shouting that they should return, that we've taken over the country. There's no place in the country that we didn't visit. Even against security advice, we visited Boko Haram places where there were high level of insecurity and we were advised not to go. We visited it because PO would tell me, Chairman, is it not human beings that are living there? The people living there, are they not Nigerians? If people live there, will you go with me? I will say I will go with you. PO did his birthday recently, and I'm sure you watched it. People advised that he should not visit Benue, and we were killing people in is it Benue now? That's just last week. Right. And we were killing people there, and we should not visit the place. And people said he was going to that place where they are killing people, where people are in IDP camp. And that's where he's going to celebrate his birthday.
Thank you.
And he asked me, Chairman, would you go with me? And so PO's birthday this year was celebrated in IDP camp in Benin.
Yes. Wow. Yes.
And so those are the kind of things that we want to bring on board. And I can assure you that by the time it takes over, by the time we take over by the grace of God, we are going to see a new Nigeria. We're going to do it differently. But the point I was trying to make is that we are going to expand the party in all fronts. So I encourage you, I appeal to you, that let's speak to our people, let's speak to the obedient movement, to take advantage of the registration of membership that we are going to carry out very soon. For all of us to be in the party. I believe that if we all team up together, register and become members of the party becomes stronger.
Yes, so.
And will be a meeting point for all of us. And we can truly have a political party that we can call that of the people. And we work for the people. And we'll be able to fight and ensure that we have a country that we call our own. PO has emphasized that the 2023 election will be the last that those of you living in diaspora will not participate.
Yes.
He said it categorically that if he wins, the first thing he's going to do is to ensure that you have a voting right from wherever you are in the world.
Yes.
And I know that he's a man of promise. That it is about the First Amendment that we are going to fight for when eventually we win and he becomes president. So I want to conclude this address so that I can give room for more questions by appreciating all of you for this opportunity. Or probably you want me to comment on the Apapa issue. For me, I have thought it's actually not an issue. Like I told you before, the party was used for bargaining, and that is what they are used to. And therefore the quarrel here is that number one, the ruling party is using them. At first they wanted to get the leadership of the party so that they can withdraw Pio's petition in the courts. But of course, we resisted it and they failed. Today they are still afraid with the kind of synergy and with the force that we have within the party. And they feel that they needed to split the party and have some people to work with them in order to destabilize the party. They have realized that the party is gradually becoming a major political force to reckon with in the country. And what they can do to it is to try to create division within the party. And so they have paid them huge sums of money. And I'm saying this without trying to run them down. And that's why I didn't want to comment on it, so that it doesn't look as if, because I have the privilege of being here, I'm running them down, but that's the reality on the ground. And I'm sure that you all saw it. When they attempted to come to the courts to withdraw Peter Obi's petition, I'm sure you saw the beating that they were given at the courts. We have defeated them all round. In the high courts, I've defeated them. The high court held clearly that what they were trying to do is a coup d'etat that will not work. In the court of appeal, they proceeded to court of appeal, and have also defeated them in the court of appeal. What they do is to promote lies and propaganda. 3-4 days back, they came back again. I'm sure that you saw it. Probably that's why some of you were worried that another court of appeal in Owerri, sitting in Abuja, have affirmed them. They actually lost the case. What played out was that in the Imo State primaries, their group organized 3 primaries. Their own group, their Papa group. They organized primaries where one Basil Maduka emerged, Joseph Okiago emerged, and one other candidate emerged. 3 primaries within one group. It is within themselves the Maduka sued one to court. They didn't add me to it. They didn't add a time Achonono to it, who is the candidate. And one of them got judgment against them. Said, okay, no judgment really. The court held that they had no jurisdiction to hear the case. But the court went ahead to make some sideline comments. And by the time we saw that judgment, we felt it wouldn't be good for us to leave it. It was good for us to appeal it, because you know, in the Nigerian system, anything can happen. So it was on that basis we decided that we're going to appeal it and even join in the matter. And so that was what took us to Court of Appeal. By the time we got to Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal held that number one, the court have already said they have no jurisdiction. And that it was absolutely unnecessary for us to be appealing against the judgment, because the court have already said they have no jurisdiction to hear the matter. And that every other comment that was made by the judge was so bitter, and that we didn't need to bother ourselves about the appeal, and it was consequently dismissed. No order as to leadership was made, no order as per the candidate was made, and they went on air and carried out the propaganda that Court of Appeal have affirmed them as the chairman, have removed all the candidates. If you go to INEC website today, it is our candidate that is there. It is our name that is there. And so to reassure you that the leadership of the party is intact, we are here and we are determined to continue to provide leadership. We are here to continue to serve. But I assure you that even if the matter gets to Supreme Court, we will still defeat them. A new Nigeria is indeed possible. And
Yes.
and people like Apapa and Co cannot truncate it. So let me thank you once more. I appreciate you for your time. I know that you are very busy people. For you to find time to come and be present to be here this evening is not what I'm taking for granted. I will take it seriously. I am indebted to you, and will reciprocate all this, your hard work, your gesture, by the grace of God. When we take over very soon, you will see the dividend of democracy. So I thank you and God bless you.
All right, everybody. Now we're going to go to phase 2, which is the question and answer section of the event. So here's how we're going to go. If you have a question, please indicate by raising your arm. We're going to call everyone one by one. Please limit yourselves to just one question, please. Don't ask more than one. If time permits, then we can always come back to you. Okay? So when you come up to, you know what, we have the mic, I'm going to bring the mic to you. Please introduce your name and then ask your question. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Engineer Ochiaga O.C. Eluchie. I'm privileged to be here in your presence, sir. Now, the question I have is that it is quite common in Nigeria where people get into offices on the coattails of a strong party, and then when they get there, they defect to the dominant party. We see that time and time again in different states. What are we doing to ensure that those who were fortunate to be swept in that tsunami that occurred during the election do not defect to the parties they find themselves? Thank you, sir.
Okay, so probably we take maybe like 5 questions, or we do we do 5 or we do 3 questions and we answer and then come back? What do you think?
3.
Okay, so we do 3 questions, answer them.
Because you're one of the organizers.
Good evening, everybody. My chairman, you are very welcome. Thank you. So my name is Patrick Obineso from DMV. So my question is just in line with what the last speaker said. Most of our members that got into the House of Assembly and Senate, they rode on the platform of the party. We're expecting them to, be the torchbearers of the mandate and the momentum we use to take them to power. But we do not hear much oppositions from them. In fact, we are hearing some unpleasant stories. Some of them are tilting, praising the existing administration. It's not as if we're expecting them to really, but my question is, do you have meetings with them? Do you discuss with them, tell them that the people are not feeling you guys in the power and all that? We expect to hear more from them. We watch on TV, the Assembly, Senators, when they have their meetings. We don't hear anything from our members, nothing. So we want to see more from them. So that's why I'm asking you some opportunity here. So let's hear what is about that.
All right. Last question. Just one? Okay.
So my question is, thank you. My name is Chinaya Esoro and I also stay in the DMV. My question is, we in diaspora, we sometimes feel, I don't want to say used, but after election we don't get to participate in any way. We know the role we play, we know how we go out of our way to push our families, our communities to do the right thing. But we don't have any representation, we don't have any presence. It's like we don't exist, we're just like money bags. So, what is the plan for diaspora? How do we come in? What is your plan for us? We need people, we're tired of playing like side roles or supporting. We want to participate. And what are you doing about that? Thank you.
Yes, the first question has to do with people defecting to the dominant party. It's a major challenge that political parties are having in the country. A lot of people, after winning, they tend to leave the party and go to another party. We've seen it in several instances, especially with members in the National Assembly and even in state houses of assembly. What we have done is to ensure that every now and then we engage those who are elected under the platform of the party. We have organized retreats, we have organized dinners. In fact, every month we meet with all our elected representatives, especially those in the Senate and those in the House of Reps. We've been very consistent with that. And we have, in all of these engagements, we emphasize the needs and constantly remind them that they all root on the back of the obedient movement to become who they are today. The legislation is quite clear that whoever defects will obviously lose their position, except where there is division in the party. And we've also not pretended in bringing to the attention those legislation. And we have also shown that we will be willing to proceed against them if they defect from the party. When we had the governor in one of the states, we were able to set the example and ensure that some members who defected from the party then, we were able to have some of their seats declared vacant. And so we've emphasized all of this, and we believe strongly that we may be able to hold them accountable to the party. A lot of them, okay, let me not say a lot of them, few of them, like we saw, we're already making a lot of uncomplimentary comments here and there, and we didn't make pretenses about disassociating ourselves from those comments that were made. And I can tell you that you trust our obedient patrons who came out openly without pretense to castigate them and to put them where they belong. And I'm sure that we'll continue to put them in that check. And we'll continue to engage them because we believe that engagement will be the answer. At this stage, there's really nothing you can really do to stop somebody who is making up his mind to defect. But all we can continue to do is to constantly engage them and stop them from moving and leaving the party. So along this line, we continue to do our best to see that we keep everybody in the party. But I'm sure that for somebody who is a wise man at this time, will see that the era of PDP and BPC is ending. And then he takes a smart person who is already in the new beginning to leave the new era and go back to the old era. I'm sure that a lot of them will not want to commit suicide. Because whoever leaves the current vision, the current movement, to go to APC or PDP at this time, will simply be described as somebody who is not a smart person, who does not have vision, and may not even be qualified to remain in this movement. And so for me, I think that I'm sure that they will be smart enough to see that the era of PDP and APC is ending. That it is in their collective best interest to remain where they are. But we continue to engage them, we continue to talk with them, we continue to educate them, and we continue to give them resource material that I think that they will need to do better in the house. The second question is also very closely interrelated, except that they are not speaking up the way we expect. We've also said so, we've also been emphasizing it, and of the need for them to square up and speak more for the people. From the one when they were elected, in fact, from that first dinner that we had with them, I've always told them that they must speak and be by the people. They must identify with the people at every point in time. And at whatever position they are going to canvass, they must remain with the people. Otherwise, they will lose steam and lost out completely in the new era that we are going into. As for the party, we decided that we are going to continue to engage them and even prepare bills on their behalf, prepare resource materials on their behalf and hand over to them in order to enhance their participation and their effectiveness in the House. And to that extent, we have several committees, legal and so on and so forth, that is working on several legislation that we are going to give them. For instance, we believe very strongly that there should generally be a review of the Constitution of the Electoral Act arising from the pitfalls that we discovered in the general election of this year. We believe strongly that Labour Party and its representative in the House should be in the forefront of the agitation for electoral reform in the House. And therefore that committee is working very hard, and I'm sure that very soon we'll begin to empower them so that they can speak more in the interest of the people in the House. Yes, the third question has to do with diaspora participation. And I'm sure that that is why I'm even here, to encourage you and to reassure you that your collective effort, your contribution will not be a waste. If eventually we win, you can be rest assured that the interest of diaspora will be adequately and effectively accommodated. Apart from Edo and one other state that I visited, my major engagement of town hall meetings is in the diaspora, and that's to show the importance that we attach to your participation in governance. Like I said in my remarks, for those of you who are in the diaspora, you are the breadwinners of your family at home. And to that extent, you play a major role in minding their minds. You have a major role in directing the affairs that plays out at home. And therefore, our greatest support, our greatest source of inspiration in Labour Party and the immediate movement, I must say, is from the diaspora. And to that extent, you must give credence, you must give priority to the area where you have your major supporters. And so for us in Labour Party and for the obedient movement, we take diaspora participation very, very, very seriously. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. And I'm sure that USA will play a major role in this development. And so I want to assure you that you can go to sleep, that if God help us and we win, and it will be because of president, you will be part and parcel and play a major role in that government. I can assure you. And even in the party, I can assure you that even from now, even before we are declared, before we reclaim our mandate, you are going to be playing major roles in the affairs of the party, because in the immediate, that's where we have control and we have power. And that's why I'm here as national chairman, to get you involved in the activities of the party, to expand your scope of participation. All of these put together will show to you that your participation is going to be very, very effective in the party and in government.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. So on that note, I think we're going to put a pause for further question and answer, because you can see we're beginning to set up the table so we can have dinner, because they are on a time crunch. much too. So after we finish eating, then we can continue. Thank you.
But you are still setting it.
Yeah. So you can take questions.
I think we should still take like 2-3 questions. After you.
I just want to make a comment to add to the commitment you just made to that. Also to reaffirm the question of Chineke, because I know I've had this discussion with leadership, particularly around what happened during the campaign. And I'm glad that the chairman is making this commitment, and we're happy that we have him on camera. So just like DMV on that, they will just sweep out evidence. Because I had that discussion around when the Presidential Campaign Council was rolled out, and I wasn't happy that I didn't see a lot of representation by the diaspora in the campaign council. And the chairman in our discussion had already told us how chaotic things were at the time, which made it impossible for any deliberative arrangement to be ascribed to that nomination or selection. And of course, we also know that our principal distanced himself from the selection of that committee, as it were. So again, I want to say that yes, in the past is prologue, that the effort we continue to put and the recognition that we continue to put my money where the national chairman's talk is, that we hope that when the next call is made, that we will all be on his doorstep asking for what goes to the diaspora.
Mine is positive, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, Victor Onyekaben from Washington, D.C. Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to welcome you with the rest of us, and to thank you for the great effort you've put in building a new movement that has swept through Nigeria like wildfire, as it did. One question I want to ask is, after the submission of when the court process was concluded and something, we know the other side. What we know of them is so much crudity, so much lies, and they sell a lot of dummies. One of the dummies, we noticed was the suggestion that there could be a fresh election. We knew it was coming from them. It was out of trepidation, the fear that the deluge of evidence in court was overwhelming. So the question is the Labour Party ready, prepared for a rerun? That's last one. Another question from that is, are there any plans in the works to align with any other group or groups? I recall that our principal recently dismissed it as a rumor that there were talks in Kano between the party and the Atiku and the man from Kano. So, given the fact that he dismissed it as rumor, I would like to find out from you whether the party has foreclosed any such conversations in the future. Are you also preparing for the real run? What are the preparations of this? And before I conclude, let me just plead that in the event of a real run, the party should remember that they are dealing with. I'm not sorry to say criminals. You know, very crude criminals. They were bold to tell us during the campaign that they knew they were going to lose and they knew what to do. It was at that point, those of them, people in my group, we made efforts then to, we were suggesting, was it possible to recruit the Starlink technology to help? But the discussions stalled due to, yeah. So, are you guys, is the party preparing, given the fact that they're dealing with, you know, given what we know of the other side, that in the event of a rerun, that they may even be worse than they were during the last election? Thank you.
Thank you. My names are Mazi Chief Sani Arukwe. I'm from Abure State. I've been a party stalwart in the past, and president. I'm an activist and an obedient. I have walked the walk and I have talked the talk. I want to lend my support to an earlier question asked by some comrades here about what the people in diaspora might eventually benefit from their efforts. It's not easy to put in effort in the United States. It's easy in Nigeria to run around politicians because I practiced politics there before I came here. If you don't have food to eat in your house in Nigeria, and you hear there's a political event happening next door, if you go there, you might come up with a plate of food. And at times they will share money too. It doesn't happen in diaspora. And in diaspora, if you leave your job, one shift, you've lost that money. That's true. So, and you cannot move easily from, say, New York to DC. Benwike is here. This is what I'm talking about. So these are really very strong issues. But what I'm going to say is,
You are the national chairman of we've already made some gains. At least I know we have a state in our kitty, in our bag. We have some members in the parliament, both state, senate, representatives, and some state house of assembly. It is you, the party, that could put your feet down and say to some of our elected officials, listen, make space for these people. Don't take them for granted. Even if it's the smallest position, you know, like there are board appointments that's very much suitable for anybody in diaspora. I've served in such capacities in the past. And there are a lot more things that we could do that probably the party doesn't know right now. If I were made the returning officer for Imo State, I wouldn't hold that election that day. But we have to understand the dynamics of what's the people at the top and the people that are following. The people at the top, like PO and the Honorable National Chairman here, cannot come out and make certain declarations. It has to come from you. Yeah. So my major take is there plans from the party to put in a word for people in diaspora that you have to look in this direction, even if it's 30% or even 10%, for us to have them, you know, do what they do. Thank you.
So please everyone remember, just ask one question, and you all know that we started very, very late and we are running behind. It's just one question. I will give the mic to the minister.
Good evening. My name is Eko Swala. I prefer to speak without a mic. You can hear.
They won't hear. Exactly. I'll hold the mic for you.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, you're welcome to the DMV area. I'm not going to ask a question. I just want to speak on my mind. It's going to be short. And what I'm going to say draws from my previous participations with governments and politicians who have come here with the very eloquent and beautiful speeches on the participation and how much they need the diasporans. Unfortunately, those who got their hearts out to help have gotten disappointed. You've made a wonderful speech, and I think I'm too small to hold you by it. If not, I would have said, I will hold you by it. But coming from previous experiences, after coming here, we get home, there's no door, we can't even see any one of them. I'll give you one example. This happened way back during the Achikudenwa days, when they were setting up the Imo State University Hospital. At that time, I happened to be the chairman of all the Nigerian doctors in the DMV area. We planned that hospital, offered our services free. We did not know when that hospital was commissioned.
Wow.
We did not know when it was commissioned.
Well, now which government?
That's actually there was quite some time.
PDP.
I had to distance myself from politics, having anything to do with politicians. I'm speaking my mind as I say. Now, we know, beautifully enough, you've told us that we are the breadwinners of our families back there. And it's on record that the money sent home by diasporans all over is more than the Nigerian budget. So apparently the diasporans are running Nigeria. What happens to the generated revenue? I remember when I was in the PDP, a sympathizer, because I don't vote. And the chairman came, as she came. What did I tell him? Please, that country will work if we have discipline from the top, not from below. The mic was taken away from me. I'm happy you listen to me this time. Please, all I'm pleading, let your yes be yes and your nay be nay, because I know the powers of the chairman of the party. The chairman controls even the government. The chairman controls the president if the president is from his party. You have told us this, that you need the diasporans. Yes, we are all Nigerians. And we know our faults. But let me take it that those who have been in the diaspora are 70% polished. I don't want to give ourselves 100. Please, let your word be your word. And when you're choosing the diasporans, remember I said 70% make due diligence, find out everything, and please, I personally, I'm tired of staying here. And I want to go home. And I don't want to go home to my nation that is worse than when I left it and came out. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think that should be all.
You make it a question.
My name is Manuel Johnson. Chairman, thank you for coming. I want to thank everybody here for the concern you are showing for Nigeria. It's not because you don't have anything, that's why you are fighting for a good Nigeria. I just want to appreciate you all. Now, Chairman, I want to ask this question. What does Labour Party stand for and what is their ideology? You see, when people cross from party to party, that means if you don't stand for anything, you fall for. If you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. So if for me, I'm still hesitating to join any party, to join Labour Party, because I want to know what they stand for, their ideology. If you have a like mind and people that stand for something, like in US, you see Republican and Democrat, they don't cross parties, they don't cross because Nigerian parties, they don't have ideology, they don't stand for anything. I'll be contemplating because of chairman, I'll be talking with him and you, maybe I'll join the Labour Party. Most of us, the obedience, we believe in obedience, we stand for something, we see his ideology. I went to Nigeria to campaign for him, the first time I campaign for anybody. I did video. If I stand for something, I would die for that game. So I want you are advising obedience to join Labour Party. I want you to start preaching these words Labour Party stand for. These are my ideology, so that anybody that joins will not easily fall away or join other parties. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that should be all. Okay, so I can take the answers now.
Yes.
Okay. First, somebody asked about the law. These are issues that are still before the courts and will not be too appropriate for us to categorically be commenting on issues that are discussed. But I want to say that if there's wrong, we'll be ready and participating in the wrong. I also want to quickly say that the party is not in talk. The party is not in any major talk with any other party as of now. When they carry that news of being in major or in major talks with other parties, you know, Obi's photograph was there, Atiku's photograph was there, and there was Obi's photograph, Akpabio's photograph. Obi confirmed to me that it is the photograph he took in 2019 at Atiku's house. So it was purely a propaganda. So we are not in talk with any political party as to measure. Yes, he spoke extensively on what the diaspora will benefit when we are government. And I'm sure that I've answered this question, but probably for emphasis of it. We believe very strongly that once we have good governance in the country, a lot of other things will fall in place. If we take over the country and receive new Nigeria, which I believe is uppermost in the heart of all of those in diaspora, I believe that what we want first and foremost is for us to have a country that we can call our own, a country that works, a country where there is security, where there is job opportunities, a country that cares, a country that moves towards development. I'm sure that's first and foremost what first and foremost is that's the yearning and aspirations of a lot of us in diaspora. We want a country that works, a country where there is justice, where there is equal opportunity for every person. And I can assure you that that's what Peter Abure represents. And by extension, that's what we also now represent. And we believe that when there is good governance, when there is equity and justice, when the economy is good, it will have a spiral effect on every aspect of life. And then to that extent, you become the first beneficiary. If, for instance, there's employment in Nigeria, there's security in Nigeria, most people are employed, I'm sure that that will reduce the pressure that you go through even in diaspora. It will reduce the level of dependence that you have here. I'm sure that a lot of you still send money to your people at home to go to hospitals, to access health care, to access education, and several other things. If the government is able to make provision for some of those things, health care, education, and so on and so forth, it will also first and foremost reduce the pressure that you are in here in diaspora. The resources that you send home for some of these services, I'm sure that that will remain with you and will go a long way in enhancing your own well-being and will increase your own source of wealth. And so, the first benefit that you are going to get if we are in government is that you are going to have good governance that will change the economic and social conditions of our people, which will have a spiral effect on those of you in diaspora. We've also talked about things like diaspora participation, voting, and a whole lot of them, which I'm sure that our presidential candidate and the Labour Party is committed to. The only aspect that is left is about probably the political appointment that the last speaker talks about. I mean appointment
in terms of governance and the whole lot of them. That I think is what can also be, is what the presidential candidates and those who are elected will also be able to determine. And I'm sure that PO will do what it needs to do along this line. The last speaker talks about how others have come to life as party leaders and those in office. Probably that's what we are all fighting against, and that's why that's what gave rise to the obedient movement in the first instance. That's what has also brought Labour Party to the limelight. And in all our campaigns, we have all said that our slogan is dependent on performance, capacity, integrity, and all of that. And so, for me, we cannot destroy the very foundation that has brought us to where we are. If we simply behave like PDP and APC, then I can assure you that the party will obviously go down the train fast and fast. And for me, as the national chairman of the party, I will not get myself involved in what will destroy the party immediately. I think that we are building this party for ourselves and for future generations. And therefore, what will keep this party and keep us is that we do and follow the promises that we are making. That will make us stand out. And I believe that we are already standing out. Like I said, all our engagements have shown that we are standing out. In our behavior, in our attitude, in our dressing, in our behavior, in the way we talk. I'm sure it's already sending signal to you that we are different from others. So I can assure you that it will not be the usual promise of the politicians. I can assure you that they will promise you and will be able to deliver all those promises. Even where there are genuine challenges in not meeting those promises immediately, we will also be generous enough to engage you as we are doing now for us to find solutions to those challenges that is making us unable to meet those promises. So I want to assure you that we'll be different as we're already different, and we'll keep to our promises. Somebody like Peter Obi, for instance, is already, his pedigree, his dignity is already being known to all of us. And I'm sure that's why the whole of us are following him and supporting him to be president of Nigeria. They say a fish that is already dried cannot be burnt. Peter Obi is already known, his character is known, and I don't think if he becomes president, he's going to change and not fulfill his promises. And for those of us who are following him, who have also become his apostle, I'm sure that will also not change. Part of the challenges we have in the country is leadership. I believe that if the head is rotten, the body too will be rotten. If the head is upright, I believe that the body will be upright. Peter Obi is a symbol of this struggle, and I'm sure he will not change. And so for us who are also following him, I'm sure that we won't change. Now, the ideology of the party is very clear and simple, like you have seen. The party is a party for social democracy, party for the downtrodden, the party that is passionate to work for the people, a party that believes in welfareism for the people. And that's why the symbol of the party is father, mother, and child. In a way, what it means is that every government policy must revolve around the human being. Any government policy that does not enhance the well-being of the human being then should not be embarked upon by government and political parties. So our own philosophy is anchored purely on welfare for the people, industry for the people, growth and development for the people. All the way from beginning to the end is centered around the human being and the person. And I can say very clearly that this also takes its roots from the Nigerian Constitution. If you look at Chapter 2 of the 19 of our Constitution, which has been repeated from the 1999 Constitution down the line, even to the Republican Constitution, is very clear that the natural resources of the country.
Very welcome. We also have Chief Stanley Osadiaye. When he heard that his brother was coming, he said he must be here. Chief Stanley, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I welcome you especially.
Start with your question. No, you have a question. Okay, you need a chance to question. And then we also have in our midst Mrs. Nneka Onwudiwe. She used to be here, and she's the daughter of the famous Dr. Ben Igwe. So those of us that live in the Washington area, we know the dad. Now, she is an activist and a strong Labour Party member, and she was the secretary of the people that conducted the Imo State primary for Labour Party. So you're welcome. And
she is the current treasurer of the Imo State Executive. Part of my delegation.
Last among the list is that a professor, pastor of ours told us a story. He said he went to church, and the pastor said, every man here that does not take instruction from the wife, stay on this side. And behold, out of 10, 9 men went to this side, and only 1 man was left. So he called the man and said, so you don't take instruction from your wife? The man said, no, she told me to stay here. So I want to introduce the one that gives the instruction
to you,
and the neck that turns the head. My wife, Linda. Thank you so much. So we are going to take a group photograph and then transition to the dinner. I know some people had called me before coming. They say, oh, they're having difficulties to send money or buy the ticket or whatever. If you have your check, you meet Sister Chi Esoro. For those who have their check here, but the dinner is for everybody. So if you have your check here or you want to make a donation towards the dinner, please meet Sister Chi Esoro. She's back there. So we are going to transition to the photograph and continue with the dinner. During the dinner session, we will continue with our discussion. So we still have 2 hours of discussion with our August visitor. I have told you, make sure you take pictures with this man. Because very soon, you will not be accessible anymore.
So let me say that I will be very, very accessible.
Please don't move, I beg. Bro, please don't move. Go
I'm happy what you turned out to be.
A quick announcement. I hope you are still in touch with us. Very good. It's time to go and get your dinner. But here's where we're going to go.
Thanks, man.
The person who's going to lead the procession will be Chairman Labour Party USA.
Yeah.
Professor
How about you
will lead the procession. Then the chairman, Barrister Abure will follow. Then chairman of Labour Party DMV, Brother Chuma will be third in line. Then the ladies will line up behind Chukuma, and then all the men will come after. So please respect the order of procession. Thank you.
Where is Professor?
Bless the food.
You pray for this.
Oh, okay. Since I already have the mic.
I'll send you.
All right. Let's go on the way. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the dinner we're about to participate in tonight. Please bless us. Let it nourish our bodies. Bless the hands that provided the food. And all this we ask in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. All right. Where's the professor? Professor? Oh, okay. Prof, he's not here. Okay. Chukuma. Prof is not here. You want to lead the barrister? We have to go. What if it's in the
You left for Madari, we need to talk with you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you know this.
I was aware. I'm great. Was the reason why you didn't care by the
Okay, so it's okay.
And I said that you're going to pay a price. I'm going to pay a price. And they're paying the price. Yeah? They're paying the price. Because for the process, right? And this time around, certain books were you can see the hands at this side. You can see what is No. This is a white lady. Cut it. Oh, the white lady. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about Nigerian
We want to acknowledge a few people, a few groups here that they help to mobilize for the election, and they continue to keep the heat on INEC and the Nigerian people and the Nigerian government to sustain the mandate. So I will call on the national chairman to please come and present this acknowledgement to the different groups. The different groups. The first group is the Nigerian American Coalition for Justice and Democracy. We will call on the representative to come up. The representative.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Nigerian American Coalition for Justice and Democracy has been around for a very long time. They have been mobilizing for the mandate. They have done a lot of activities in Nigeria so far. If you are following, they've had demonstrations, they have press conferences, they have so many things, mobilizing to stay in the courthouses, and they are gingering up for the activity after the judgment. So on behalf of the Labour Party in Washington, D.C., we want to acknowledge your activities.
Thank you. I have the honor this evening to present this certificate of recognition to you. Thank you. Yay!
So the next in the house is, this is a very known organization. This is NADECO USA. It's a non-political organization in the sense that it's not party affiliated, but they pursue good governance and promotion of democracy in Africa, especially in Nigeria. Leading up to the election, if you all were in the news, if you were following, you all knew what NADECO did, and they are still doing. Last 2 months, they organized a conference on the election, and the ripples are continuing to be felt all over. We want to call on the Executive Director of NADECO USA, Dr. Lloyd.
I have the honor and great privilege to present this certificate to you.
Give us your face.
say something very.
Yes. Say something.
On behalf of the National Democratic Coalition, USA, I'd like to say thank you to the Labour Party for recognizing what NADECO has been doing, what it did beginning June 12, 1993, till date. And NADECO is non-partisan, is non-ethnic, is non-regional, is non-religious. If you are an Ekwensu worshipper, we don't discriminate, provided you are in Nigeria. So we support the Nigerian people. We're not for APC, we're not for PDP, we're not for the Labour Party, we are for Nigeria.
That's right.
Good job. Thank you so much. The next is the group 1MMC, 1 Million Man Crew. If you are on the net, you know who they are. They don't need any introduction. We will call on their representative to please show up. Eyes on judicial. And she's going to tell us briefly what they are doing right now. What they have done before. After the presentation.
On behalf of the Labour Party, I have the honor and privilege this evening to present this certificate of recognition to you as a result of your immense contribution to Peter Obi and to the enthronement of good governance and democracy in Nigeria.
Yes.
Picture number.
So you can now tell us what to do.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am, okay. My name is Ifeyinwa Amadi Davis, Ankadede on Twitter Spaces, and I'm here representing the 1 Million Man Crew, 1MMC. 1MMC is the Twitter group that organizes spaces Monday through Friday from 4 a.m. American time to whenever. And we were instrumental to the over 26 mega rallies during the lead up to the campaign. When they said campaign had not started, we called it sensitization, and we sensitized and we mobilized across Nigeria and had mega rallies. You remember Port Harcourt?
Oh yeah.
We started in Nasarawa, we went to Lagos, we went to Plateau. It was all over. And when campaign started in September, we were there, toe to toe with Labour Party, supporting them, the obedient movement. Yes. We say we move. And we've been moving, and now our eyes are laser focused on the judiciary. If you remember the billboard that caused the trouble in Abuja, that billboard was put up by the 1MMC.
All right.
And when they took it down, we said we become human billboard. That's why I'm proudly wearing my focus, eyes on the judiciary. And that's what we are doing until we get our mandate back.
Yeah.
Because new Nigeria is possible.
Yes.
And we can't wait.
Inevitable.
Yes.
Thank you. And Tinubu must be disqualified. No questions, no ifs and buts. He must be disqualified.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to the US, because we had our mega rally here too.
Yes.
Leading up to the election, and it was a huge success. So we are looking forward to when we can come to the office.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Please stay around, because you have some of your sisters here. Violence space, and then P2B movement, diaspora and Nigeria, palm down.
Yeah,
please.
Well, in recognition of their contribution to the enthronement of Peter Obi as President of Nigeria, I hereby present this certificate of recognition to you.
Thank you. Let me say something about the violence space. It's our biggest space on Twitter space. We've had EO twice or so, and we've had the chairman also on the violence space. If you recall, the first time EO came to violence space, we made the 8th biggest space in the world.
Wow.
And recently, a few weeks ago, when he came back, we had over 35,000 people on space, asking questions, listening to people. So violence space is our biggest handle. What MMC is a big handle also. And the Peter Obi movement, the diaspora and Nigeria is a big movement. They sponsor, you know, we have how many thousand support groups all over the world. So I'm not claiming that we are the only ones doing work. It's so many of us, but I'm here representing just a few. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Okay.
So we have DMV Obidati Coalition. DMV Obidati Coalition.
Well, on behalf of Labour Party, I have the honor and privilege this evening to present this certificate of recognition to you for your support to the party.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, madam, can you come?
Remember. Yes. Yeah.
Keep lessons on the ground.
Okay, she's the one
Thank you. So thank you very much. The DMV Obidati Coalition, on behalf of my colleagues, I'm picking this up. We here in Maryland, we had a passion to gather ourselves together to join the mobilization process for P2B's campaign. Our members cut into Nigeria because we have them as our foot soldiers in Nigeria. They give us data on where they need to go because during the campaign we knew that the north was a target. So we had people assigned for various places in the north. We gathered ourselves, we contributed, we gave them money. We had doctors among us that distributed pharmaceutical products in the north, campaigning vigorously. And while anytime there was a movement in Maryland, we made sure we mobilized, galvanized friends, members and non-members to go and join in the march. So we are glad that the chairman himself is here recognizing us. And the march is not ended as we move on for a better Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Finally, we have the Alliance for a Better Nigeria. After the presentation, they will tell you what.
On behalf of the Labour Party and Peter Obi, I have the honor and privilege this evening to present this certificate of appreciation to you for your good work and your support for the enthronement of good governance, democracy in Nigeria. Yes.
Can't give him a directive.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. So the Alliance for a New Nigeria was a group, some people back home, because they know that we have serious passion for politics, so they met and contacted me and said, look, we are gearing up for P2B, but we don't have the muscle.
No, sorry, I'm fine.
I asked them, what do you need? They say, look, we need an office, and we need some vehicles, and we need some money. So I rallied around and talked to some people. They came on board. So I have a building on Zika Avenue, Enugu, which was not fully in use. So I had to mobilize to renovate it. It's a one-story building, 131 Zika Avenue, Enugu. So we renovated the building and we branded 2 vehicles and we started funding the group. The first thing we did was to call the coalition of all Obidati groups. There were 108 of them in Enugu. Most of them didn't have any office. They were meeting in small hotel lounges and so on. So we put them together and had a meeting on the 28th of October. Prof was also, he addressed the meeting virtually. We had some other people that addressed the meeting. So from there, they were able to come together as a strong coalition. They now had an office to operate from, and they had vehicles to move. During the election proper, we visited 28 markets, rural markets, because we knew that those were places where the votes were. We were not sure whether what we were seeing in town was getting to the grassroots. So we printed T-shirts, we printed face caps, pens, phone stickers, and so on to do that. There are some people here that helped us, and some that are not here. But on behalf of the Alliance for a New Nigeria, I want to thank you all for sustaining the quest for the mandate. The office, we wanted to disband. The last time we had a meeting online, July 10th meeting, that Zoom, I asked the question, what do we do with an office? What do we do with an office? The election is over, but the office is still there, not yielding any revenue to us. Do we disband it or what? They said, okay, please keep the office. So now that office has been put to use as a constituency office of Labour Party. Incidentally, if you go to Enugu, apart from the major Labour Party office, that is the main office now on Zika Avenue in Enugu. All right. So,
can I give an information?
Good evening, House. My name is Mr. I have here, I want to, we may not get a certificate, but I want to say this. This is our leader, Victor Onyeka. We belong to OB Support Network. I used to work for Champion Nigeria, he worked for Guidance. So our focus throughout the election, before and during and after the election, was on media, pushing out information. So I want to drop that piece of information because even people say that if you are in a place where an agreement is being made and you refuse to talk, your mouth will be tied, your opinion will be tied. So I just want to give this piece of information. Victor Onyeka is our leader. I follow him at the back, but I think you need to acknowledge what he did.
We need them. Thank you. We do have the Washington chapter. We have a presentation to make to the national chairman. Like I said, it's not every day that you have a visitor like this in our midst. So, first, Uncle Sir? Please. You get the card. Okay.
American.
So the chairman, please, the members of the committee we want to present this for giving us the honor to host you for these few days. We hope when you go back, people will ask you where you came from, and then you tell them where you came from.
And have evidence to show.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Picture, please. Yes, picture.
Well, let me, on behalf of myself and the members of Labour Party, express my greatest appreciation to the US chapter of Labour Party for the warm reception, for the kind words, and above all, to the commitment towards the liberation of our people from poverty, from hunger, from unemployment, and from bad governance. Since I came in yesterday, I must say that I'm overwhelmed by the show of solidarity, by the show of love, and the support and the passion to save the people of Nigeria. What has happened with the guests you have seen reinforces my hope that indeed a new Nigeria is possible.
Yes.
It has reinforced my hope and confidence that indeed we still have Nigerians who are patriotic and who are passionate about what happens at home. Not every person will be privileged the way you are, who will say that I have been saved. I believe that a lot of you who are here, probably a lot of your children, your immediate family are also here. And so you can easily conclude and say, since I have liberated myself, let me leave all others. After all, they are not my business. But my coming here has shown that we still have a lot of Nigerians who are patriotic and who are still passionate about what happens at home. And therefore, I want to say that for us, because of the passion and commitment you have shown, it has further given us the courage, those of us who are spearheading the struggle at home, it has given us the courage and confidence to continue to do what we are doing. And I assure you that for us, we'll continue to make the needed sacrifices, we'll continue to work harder until we reclaim the country and make and ensure that we regain our mandate and bring to bear the new Nigeria of our dream. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Photo, have you?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we want to take a brief message from our partner in the struggle, the people of Nadeko USA. Brief message, please. Yeah, you can.
The national chairman of the Labour Party, my life colleague, Barrister Julius Abure, the chairman of the Nigerian Labour Party USA chapter, Professor Eddie Oparoji, and kindly allow me to continue on the established protocol. Nadeko, yeah, first and foremost, my name is Lloyd Oku. I shouldn't assume that you already know my name. And I am the executive director of Nadeko USA. I am delighted beyond expression to have been invited to attend the Labour Party Obedient Town Hall meeting. By way of information, and I think this is very important, NADECO's full name is National Democratic Coalition. A lot of people do not know this, so I usually take time to put it straight. NADECO is Nigeria's premier and foremost pro-democracy group fighting for the enthronement and deepening of democratic principles and the rule of law in Nigeria. NADECO has been doing this since 1993 when it was founded. After the June 12, 1993 election, which was adjudged to have been freest and fairest in Nigeria during the General Abacha days, Nigerians from all over the country got together and formed NADECO. It is important to note that it was formed by Igbos, including Ndubisi Kano, Ralph Obioha, Professor Udenta, Ato Nwampo, and so many other Igbos. It was also formed by Yorubas, Ayo Adebanjo, Chief Subo, Shonibare, Wole Oshun, Ibrahim Adesoya, Senator Kofu Akerele Bokno, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, and in fairness to him, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You had non-Yorubas or non-Igbos like Anthony Enahoro, Chief Anthony Enahoro, John Oyegu, Chief John Oyegu, Mr. Kokori, who was the labor leader then. And from the north, you had Commodore Dan Suleiman, Shehu Sani, Colonel Omar, and many, many others. So you can see how it derived its name, national. And it was national then, it is national today, and will continue to remain national. Let me quickly say this. I already said it, but I'll say it again. NADECO is non-partisan, NADECO is non-regional, NADECO is non-ethnic, NADECO is non-religious. It does not support PDP, LP, APC. It does not support the North or the South. It does not support Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. It does not support Islam, Christianity, or Juju. NADECO supports the people of Nigeria. NADECO is an umbrella for Nigerians. NADECO is a rainbow coalition for Nigerians. At the beginning of the election malpractice issue in Nigeria in February 2023, NADECO's first action was to expel Mr. Bola Tinubu as a founding member, because we could not, in fairness, have a character like him to be referred to as one of us. You will all recall that Tinubu's war machine swung into action after that expulsion. In one of the articles by Mr. Alake, Dele Alake, I was called an imposter. That we were in another article, who were agents of the Labour Party. NADECO USA was planted originally by Chief Ralph Obioha. I'm taking trouble to say this because attending a Labour Party event might send the wrong signal to the likes of Dele elected. No. Chief Ralph Abure, after the June 12, 1993, when he and others came into exile in the US, set up Nadeko. And remember, Ralph Abure was not an Igbo man. So he was not a Yoruba person, he was an Igbo man. The point to be made here is that I have been with Nadeko since 1994 when it was registered. We supported MKO Abiola's mandate. MKO Abiola was not an Igbo man. Ralph Abure was not a Yoruba man. I was not a Yoruba person. But we supported MKO Abiola, a Yoruba person. And at that time, nobody was referred to as an imposter. Nobody was referred to as an agent working for MKO Abiola. Ralph Abure was the head of Nadeko in North America. Ralph Abure was the head of Nadeko UK. Chief Anthony Nahoro was head of Nadeko worldwide. And I was Nadeko General Counsel, all of us non-Yorubas, but worked for the realization of the mandate that was given to Chief MKO Abiola, a Yoruba person. So I want you to see Nadeko as an institution working for the Nigerian people. It doesn't work for any individual. The mere fact that the first shot was fired was the expulsion of Bola Ahmed Tinubu represents that position, that we were not ready to tolerate any character in our midst. Let me end with this. The fight has just started. And a lot of people are getting it wrong that perhaps we are coming to the end of it. Behind the scenes players, such as the United States of America, the host country, I refer to them as behind the scenes players. The EU, Britain, France, their cousin, have now come out openly on the side of the Nigerian government, not on the side of Nigerians. That's dangerous. So the fight is bigger now. Therefore, we must not relent. For far too long, the US, EU, etc. have tricked us into believing that periodic elections are a sign of a developing democracy. But they always worked behind the scene to restore their stooges. You saw the Secretary of State, John Kerry, during the Goodluck Jonathan era. They went to Nigeria and did whatever job he needed to do there. You saw the Secretary of State Anthony Blinken's unwavering support for Buhari during his administration, going as far as removing Nigeria's name from the list of countries involved in religious persecution, even when Christians were being slaughtered in Nigeria. Watch how Biden's Secretary of State is hobnobbing with Tinubu, who is a celebrated drug dealer well known to the United States. What does that tell you? They want democracy only when their stooges are in. We all must work together as a team. All the groups must compare notes, work together, do rallies together, hold conferences together, in order to defeat this humongous anti-people of Nigeria. US, EU, Britain, ECOWAS, and of course, the APC. Let me put my personal analysis into this before I leave the podium. What is playing out in Niger and the ECOWAS is part of the game plan. If the University of Chicago releases the right document they have, it will mean that the University of Chicago got involved in the business of fraudulent certification. That does not speak well for the alumni of the school, wherever they are. Doesn't speak well for the school today. It will not speak well for graduates from that school. The ranking of the school is going to drop. So, the University of Chicago is going to fight tooth and nail to say that Tinubu was a bona fide product of that school. That's one arm of it. The next level is, if Tinubu is removed, these so-called behind-the-scene players, like the US and the rest of them, would have no conduit through the ECOWAS to do the very job they are planning to do. I brought this book here. It's called How to Read an Election. When I saw it on Amazon, I was thinking it must have been written by a Nigerian. But no, written by two professors from the University of London and University of Birmingham. In Nigeria, it's littered all over. And one thing I got out of it is that, is a quotation I gave here, that the West has always used periodic elections to trick the African democracies into believing that elections are what we need when they turn around and put in whoever they think will do their bidding. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. So, well, the last message we have for the night is from our friend who came all the way from New York. Stephen Osamwije is in very serious on the Twitter space as well. He has participated in all the activities that happen in DC. You know, so we are happy to have him in our midst. We want him to greet us because we don't have any time left. We should be leaving here any time from now. But for coming all the way from New York, we just have to give him an opportunity to speak. Stephen, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm here to do. So you put on clapping for me. Anyway, I think that we are late, but let me quickly thank the organizers. I think chairman of this area, thank you for what you've done. I sneaked in to come and see what DC was doing so that I can have hope. But now, I don't blow us away. So I'll report back to people that you need to buckle up. But this is good. I'm very delighted to meet my own brother and father, our national chairman. I'm here to quickly say that there's a group that you guys missed. Save Nigerian Group USA is a non-profit also that works across the US for our campaigns. We should get our own award.
He's coming to New York. So you guys
Anyway, that's on the lighter note. But just to quickly say that I think what I want to chip in the next 1 minute because of time is there's a need for us as the aspirants to really consider going back to Nigeria to get involved. one of the aspirants for gubernatorial seat in Edo. Not because I really wanted to do that, but I looked at the field and I said, if we don't really get involved, like our principal POD, we'll keep being on the sidelines and hoping that it changes. It's out of desperation to see it work that is forcing me to get involved. And I know that a lot of potentials are out here. Nigeria is really in need for fresh blood, fresh ideas, fresh, everything new. My campaign is called A New Direction, because we cannot continue to do the same thing and expect different results. Look at the time Aladeko Oga just said 1993. Nigeria has actually become worse since 1993 in every metric. So I'm saying this to encourage folks in the DMV, please consider getting involved, not just calling and sending like the UNICEF does, aid to the hospital. We need to fix Nigeria. Thank you very much.
All right. One more, please. Okay. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, so we cannot engage in any further talks. Please. So we want to call Prof. to.
Let me just say greet him formally. Yes.
Well.
Let me just say.
Okay. Please, 1 minute.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for coming, and everyone, thank you for this evening. Just want to say thank you, and please stay on the track. You heard what Mr. Lloyd said. It's not over, and we are capable of this. Our fight is not just for us, it's for the future of our people, Nigeria, and the future of Africa. Still take care.
Please give us a minute to get the two certificates ready. Good job.
Prof, we're learning from you.
I'll take that as a good
Yes.
So please, let's have patience in the next 5 minutes. We'll get done with the protocols. And we'll head it out. But meanwhile, I think this has been a very, very successful evening. We appreciate all that you said. And we will be looking forward to more activities tomorrow. So if you're available to volunteer for one or two things, I appreciate that. One thing that I don't want to forget is that we are having a private dinner tomorrow at a private home. If you will be available to join us there, it's going to be another small group where we will have some serious, engagement. If you want to join us, please put your name and phone number down somewhere so that we can text you the details of the venue and time. We will definitely appreciate as many of us that are still left here that they can attend to be there. Who is there that can help us with taking down names of anybody who's is Chine there? What time? I'm assuming it's going to be from 7 o'clock, but I'm going to get details. That's what I'm saying. That I need to get everyone who's interested to get it can even help us get a pen and paper. So who's interested, get their names and their phone number, so that we can get back in touch with them. While we wait, anybody goes out to sing? I want to second that. Let the doctor please say something. This is the old warrior.
I don't sing. I want to thank everybody for coming. And Abure, everything is said and done. One thing you have to remember that somebody runs the universe. The God aspect should not be forgotten. Okay? So we can do everything we want. Unless he assigns us to do it and do it right, it's not going to come out right. Peter Obi is a praying man. Peter should be a praying party. Well, everything we said and done, please pray that God's will be done in Nigeria. It should be done. Amen. Don't forget that. That's a take-home word. Whatever you do, God is behind Peter. He's not moving by himself. That's what's moving him. If you pay attention, he's not moving by himself. Let's support him with prayers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I wanted to. I just wanted to. I wanted to formally introduce Doc properly. He is a strong and outstanding elder of the Nnewi community in Washington, D.C., Virginia, and Maryland. Now, I happen to be serving them as the president of the community at this time. But Doc has been my stabilizing force. He has steered our administration. Anytime we look like we are falling out or we are making mistakes, he's always there to redirect us. So he has mentored me for the past 4 years. I've been the president of the Nnewi community in this DMV area. When I told him we're going to have a meeting, he volunteered to be here. And he was the first or the second person to appear here.
Second.
Okay.
I was first.
Okay, Doc was the first. Good. So I just really want to appreciate him for all he has done in mentoring me and positioning me. Doc, I'm very grateful. And I want also to appreciate our Elder Edwin. For those of us who don't know the political activity of the DMV area, you will not know who he is. And tonight we were not looking for quantity. Tonight we were looking for quality. And anybody who showed face here today, who belongs in this DMV, knows that we grabbed the quality of DMV when it comes to politics. Politics in DMV is different from cultural gathering. It's very different. If you attempt to put a political rally in DMV and you have 18 people, it's a big success. Go back the records. So when you put a gathering like this and you have these people on a Sunday night, it's a great success.
It is.
And added to that, we are talking about the best of the best that anybody would have even hoped to get. We have them in the house. So I thank you all for making our time to come. I hope that as we progress, you give us your support. So, Chairman, the last two groups.
Okay.
So, we have Save Nigeria Group USA. If you
love it, fine.
No, why we did not do this originally was that we felt we are too small to acknowledge them here, because the great things they do in New York City is amazing. Wow. It is amazing. The first Obi Dati rally I saw in New York City, organized by these people, scared me. Because I never knew that Nigerians could come out like that for a cause. And I'm sure it is after the New York and London rallies that every other person had confidence to come out for Obi. So it's not that it was an oversight. No. We just felt that we were too little to acknowledge it in view of the fact that the chairman is coming up to New York. So pardon us for that mistake. Chairman, I present to you. Thank you.
Well, in recognition of your work, which has been outstanding and unique, I have the honor and privilege this evening to present to you these certificates of appreciation on behalf of the Labour Party.
Wait, one more. Do you want to say something? Oh, you said something already.
I've already said something.
Okay.
They want to.
So the last one is this group, the Obi Support Network USA. The group, initially when we meted the idea, they felt that, well, there's no point that they do this thing for sake of country. But I am sure they did not know that we're going to make an elaborate presentation like this. So it was kind of embarrassing that despite the things, in spite of the great things they do, we left them out of the table. So we apologize for presenting it late. We know what you do. We present to you, Chairman, the Obi Support Network USA.
I present the certificate of recognition to you on behalf of Labour Party of Peter.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, before we call on Prof to give us the closing remark, we want to acknowledge the presence of a very fine couple. Mr. and Mrs. Tony Gukas. Brother Stanley, thank you so much for coming out today again. I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Leka, I thank you. I thank everybody. So we are going to call on Professor Edi to come and give us a closing remark. And on the last note, we are having a private dinner tomorrow. If you are interested in the dinner, please let us have your name. One of our major backers is inviting us to a private dinner from 4 o'clock. Prof.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you very much, National Chairman, for coming. And I want to take this brief time to say a very big thank you to our comrades here in the MDV area. To be honest with you, they have done us very proud. When this request came through for us to host the national chairman, The question he asked me was, so where do I come in from? And I never had any consultation with the group here, but I said, you will have to come in through DC. And it was an instinct, more or less, that given the kind of vision we have of how we want all this thing to be choreographed, that the best place where I think we can capture that entry is here in DC. And from all we can see, the DC and the DMV, Labour Party and obedience have delivered. So thank you very much. And we're still not done with the DMV area, but I think the major part of this event has been accomplished. And I will say most of us can now rest easy. So I will say, please, we pray God that everybody gets back to the boat very safely. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you.